Hey Year 4s, this second video in the series is about the layers of the Earth. So let's start with the inner core. Okay, the inner core is in the very center of the Earth and it's pretty darn hot. It's up to 5 to 6,000 degrees Celsius and it's actually solid. It's a solid inner core made of iron and nickel. It's massive. It's about 2.5 kilometers wide. It's made mainly of iron. The temperature of the ball, like I said, goes up to 6,000 degrees Celsius, and that's pretty hot. Now, it's hot enough to make metal melt. Even though it's hot enough to make the metal melt, the inner core stays solid because there's an incredible amount of pressure pushing down onto it. So without the pressure, it would be liquid metal, but with the pressure, it remains solid. The outer core, which is the next layer, so up here we can see the outer core, is not quite as hot, can get to 6,000 degrees Celsius, but it's a little bit cooler, and this inner core is actually liquid metal. Well, not just all metal, but it is liquid rock. So we've got iron, nickel, sulfur, and a bit of oxygen in there too. It's pretty deep inside our Earth, approximately 5,000 kilometers deep into the center of our Earth. The outer core flows around the center of the Earth, and the movements that are going on within that liquid metal is what creates our planet's magnetic field. The mantle's kind of got two parts. We've got a lower mantle here, which is closest to the center of the Earth, and then we have an upper mantle, which is closer to the crust of the Earth. Now, the mantle, not as hot as the inner or the outer core, up to about 3,000 degrees Celsius. So yes, that is still hot. And it's sometimes solid, sometimes liquid, depending on how close it is to the core or the surface, and whether that molten rock is in the right position. It's made of iron, oxygen, silicon, magnesium, and aluminium. Okay, so all of those are semi or molten rock in that mantle area. The lower mantle is close to the core. It can be nearly 3,000 kilometers into the Earth, made from solid rock. It's hot enough to melt, but again, it's got so much pressure pushing down on it that it can't actually liquefy. So, like the inner core, it's super duper hot, but too much pressure to let it move around as a liquid. The upper part of the mantle, closer to the surface of the Earth, is made of both solid rock and melted rock, or magma, and that's where the magma that forms our volcanoes will come from, sort of the upper mantle section. And it can be about 670 kilometers below the Earth's surface, so nowhere near as deep. The crust, however, is the outside layer of our Earth, all the way around. It is our rocky surface. It's about 22 degrees Celsius on average, so that's where we are right now. At the moment, it's winter time and it's a lovely 22 degrees Celsius. That's how hot generally the rock is around here. It's solid. There's two types of crust. There's the oceanic crust, which is under the oceans, made mainly of iron and oxygen, silicon, magnesium, and aluminium. And the continental crust is the crust underneath the land sections, which is mainly made of granite, sedimentary rocks, and metamorphic rocks. The Earth's surface is covered by the thinnest layer, and that is the crust. As you can see here, I'll just move that picture. The continental crust is much thicker than the oceanic crust. Now, the continental crust is mainly made of a rock called granite, and the oceanic crust down here is much thinner and made mainly from a rock called basalt. Oops, I went too far again. That's the end of this video, so I'll see you next time. Bye.